in an academic sort of scenario, writing must be objective, not trying to persuade people, giving excuses, that type of thing, giving the information in an objective way. So, I'm Isabella Slevin and I'm currently working at the Adelaide University in the Professions Learning Centre. I was a primary school teacher for a number of years. I've worked in country South Australia as well as in the city. I've taught overseas in places like Papua New Guinea and in Thailand. I then moved on to the preparatory program, and then from them I've come to the University of Adelaide. What about the next one? Some people think, lots of other people think, however. What's going on with that one? It's a terribly weak argument, particularly in the academic setting. What's wrong with that? Well, we have been talking about reading for quite a while, and I really wanted to move into the area of critical reading because this is what is absolutely necessary at university. Students need to read a lot, but they need to be critical readers. They need to ask questions, not simply accept everything, because they're looking for evidence to support their arguments, and therefore they really need to be critical, be questioning, and so they can sort through what's useful and what's not useful. So that's really what I was hoping to get at.
It has no backup, no source of information.
Absolutely, thank you. Who are these some people? You know, my next door neighbours, the people I met at the bus, you know, some people, lots of people. These things are totally unacceptable in the academic setting, okay? There's a total lack of evidence, support, research, as Amanda was saying, referencing. So when we're looking at things like that, we have to look at the evidence. And phrases like some people, lots of people, as everyone knows, generally accepted, those sorts of phrases you really need to avoid. The other thing was probably to give them some criteria. You can't just be a critical reader in a vacuum. You have to base it on something. So I wanted to introduce some criteria like the bias and the validity and the reliability, so they have something on which to base those questions. I like the next one, the clinical study. Okay, so they've given out these moisturiser and they've asked the 16 to 24-year-olds, how does your skin feel after a week of using the moisturiser? Ben, I'll ask you this one. What do you think's wrong with this particular text?
The age group they've used for the study is not broad enough.
Okay.
And it's quite youthful age bracket.
And what's the problem with that? You know, they're having this moisturiser, you know, makes your face look smooth and wrinkle-free, and they've given it to a group of 16 to 24-year-olds. What's the problem?
Well, that's it. They have no wrinkles. They're giving cream to people with soft, tight skin, trying to prove to people that you can have soft, tight skin.
Okay, so we're looking at the validity. Okay, how valid is it to test moisturiser on a group of 16 to 24-year-olds? Perhaps if they did it on, you know, really old people like me, and after a week, you know, they found I had wrinkle-free and looked 20 years younger, that would be okay. Maybe that would be valid. But asking 16 to 24-year-olds, so as well as asking the size of the group and who this group are, it's this validity. How valid are the results?